Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in again. Woody Bendel here from Next Level Growth Strategies. Today's tip for getting your business to its next level of profitable growth is about getting out of your own way, especially if you are the CEO of your company. But in this case, CEO doesn't mean what you think it does. Okay, so stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss out on today's tip. All right, welcome back everyone. Let's jump right on in. Just this past week, I was having a Zoom call with the founder of a really cool B2B service business. A mutual friend recommended to this individual that we connect. And my friend also gave me a heads up about some of the challenges this business was beginning to deal with. Now, this is a fairly new business, and it's been growing pretty rapidly for its first 7 years. They've had great customer retention and solid recurring annual revenues, but their pipeline wasn't filling up the way it used to. Their revenue from new business was slowing down, and they were beginning to hear from some of their clients that things weren't quite like they used to be. This organization has about 50 employees, and to address some of the revenue and service issues, they've recently brought on a new head of business development, someone responsible for client experience, and someone to help with their marketing. After speaking with Bob, not his real name by the way, for about 15 minutes, it became crystal clear what this organization's real issue was. And frankly, this is very common with most of the owner or founder-led businesses we work with. When there was a break in our conversation, I made a statement that completely threw Bob for a loop. I said, Bob, if you want to get your business growing again the way it used to, you need to stop being the CEO. Now, he looked back at me for a few seconds and said, what the hell are you talking about? I built this business from scratch. I'm the only one here that knows everything that's going on. There's no one else here who can run this business. I clearly struck the nerve I intended to. I said, Bob, I didn't say you needed to stop running or leading your business, but you just said right now something that made my point for me. You just said you're the only one who knows everything that's going on, and that's the biggest problem. You're the chief everything officer. And if you want to get your business to start growing faster, you need to stop being the bottleneck. You can't be everywhere all the time. You can't make every decision that needs to be made. And you can't review and approve everything that everyone does any longer. You have to scale yourself. And that doesn't mean getting in the middle of everything and just working harder. Just the opposite. You've built a great business, but to get your business to its next level, your people need to be able to make decisions the way you would. They need to know when something is right for the business or not. They need to know what's in your head. And the only way to do that is to get it all down on paper. You have to lay out your primary goal and your priorities. You have to lay out what matters to you. You need to lay out why and how you make the decisions you make. If you don't do this, if you don't share all this with your team, you're going to be stuck where you are now. And frankly, you're going to keep chasing your tail until you collapse from exhaustion, and your business isn't going to grow the way that you know that it can. At this point, I could see Bob beginning to nod. I said, Bob, your team needs to know how to help you grow your business. You need to empower them to do this. They need to know how to keep things moving down the road. And maybe more importantly, they need to know how to know when they're veering off course. If they don't know what direction they're heading or where the guardrails are, and if you don't let them take the steering wheel more often, you're going to continue to deal with what you're dealing with right now, or maybe even worse. When I finally stepped down from my soapbox, Bob took a deep breath and said, You're right. You're absolutely right. Where do I start? So here's our tip. If you are facing slowing or declining business growth, and you happen to be the CEO, Chief Everything Officer of your business, you have to stop. But don't just take your hands off the steering wheel just yet, because I'm betting you haven't built a self-driving car. Instead, you need to start working on these 3 things immediately. 1, you need to create clarity about what matters and why and how things get done. Map this out. Write it down. This is going to take a little bit of time, but it's critical that you do this, and I'd start now. 2, you need to create alignment throughout your team about what your organization's priorities are. Everyone needs to know what they should be focusing on and how everyone goes about doing the things they need to do in order to help you grow the business. They need to know what the target is, where the target is, how to hit it, how to identify when they're not hitting it. And finally, 3, you need to create operational and executional consistency across all aspects of your business. Everyone needs to know when this is happening and when it's not happening, and how to get things back on track when it's beginning to drift off the edge of the road. So there you have it. That's today's tip for getting your business to its next level of profitable growth by creating clarity, alignment, and consistency. Thank you again for watching. Oh, and if you happen to be a Chief Everything Officer, give us a call. We've got a 12-step program just for you. We'll see you next time.